clarify something that I also wrote in my email last night, is that, first thing that you should try to do is, yeah, I think somebody is trying to record, right? Who has initiated recording?
Sir, this is Nidhi. Sir, I have started recording.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so you should only have the feature, so ability to record.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Others should not. So as I said, right, so I do not have much familiarity with this platform, so I will need assistance from all the students to help me out where to find which option in Teams, and I think in the next few days I will also get familiarized with it. Anyway, so going back to whatever I was telling you, is that in this cloud computing course, it is a PG level course of CSE, so it is expected that the students will already have some basic background of the core courses of CSE, right? So it is expected that the students are quite familiar with programming, particularly with either C or C++ and Python, and students should be familiar, not only familiar, I mean, so programming, if proficiency in programming is very important. Second thing that would be required is that you should be having decent knowledge of algorithms, algorithms as in what is implied by algorithms in the CSE curriculum, right? Not just merely knowing how to write the steps of an algorithm, but analysis of algorithms and so on. So algorithms, data structures, and also you should be familiarized with operating system, computer architecture, and very importantly, computer networks. Okay. If you already have some knowledge of distributed systems, that is well and good. But if not, that is something that, time to time I will also cover. Okay. So please make sure that you have the requisite background. If you don't, you will have difficulty down the road. And at that time, if you ask me certain questions, you will the response that I will give you, you will not be able to follow. So it is very important that today is the first class. Today I will not cover anything, any material I will not cover. So only thing that I'm going to do is the introduction, wherein I will I will also share with you the course outline. That will give you some idea. Some students have been asking me for the course outline, so that will give you some idea about what the course is all about, what sort of topics are going to be covered, and so on and so forth. So so first so can we just quickly go around and so before we actually start the formal introduction, I think, can I ask how many students are here with no no CSE background? So non CSE students, how many of you are here? I think it will be quite a few, right? Quite a few of you are non CSE. And also, given the platform that we have, it is difficult for me to understand who doesn't have the requisite background. Huh?
They are raising hand.
Raising hand. Where do I find raised hands?
Sir, upper right corner.
In the participants list, you can see the count.
In the list of participants, I have to scroll down, right?
No, sir. There will be a count of raised number of hands.
Count of raised hands. I don't see anything. Let me see.
Sir, in red color, you could see written 22.
Now I can see in the participants, red color written 22. Don't show all attendance, download attendance list. But I can see some names, for example, Deepak Chauhan. Deepak, You have what background?
Sir, Jain sir, I am Major Deepak Chauhan, sir. I am from defense background, sir.
No, that is okay. No, but like in terms of your BTech,
Sir, I
so
have
you
done
are
BTech.
in MTech, right? You are in MTech right now.
Yes.
MTech CSE.
Sir. Yes, sir.
MTech CSE. So,
Yes, sir.
so you have done your BTech in CSE as well.
Sir, I have done my BTech in Telecom and IT branch, sir.
Okay. So the subjects that I mentioned, do you have? I think if you are in MTech CSE, you should be comfortable with those, right? So I think for you it is
Yes.
okay. For you it is okay, because anyway if you are in MTech CSE you have to know, you have to have the background. So particularly non CSE students, who else? I only saw your hand, but where do I find other raised hands? Manage permissions. So in the participants list I don't see anything, only one hand was raised, but so now I think you can unraise your hand, right? Who else? So can somebody help me out once again, where to find the raised hands? I can't see anything except Deepak's hand. No other hand I can see.
Sir, if you can share your
Say-
screen, then we can.
Okay, how do I share my screen? So
upper right corner beside the leave button.
share content, right? Share content.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Screen
Okay,
1. You
share
have to select
content.
screen 1.
I have to select
Screen 1.
Whole screen.
screen 1. No, there is desktop. I can see desktop window and
Yes, sir, that desktop window.
Desktop. So desktop is that.
desktop. Okay. Yeah. Then where do I go? Are you able to see now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Where do I go now?
Join the meeting.
Hmm?
Inside the meeting. Inside the
Where?
meeting. Inside the meeting.
Join.
Click the join.
Okay. Then
Beside the message button, you have the count.
beside the message here, this is the message, right? So this
beside
one. This is
one.
hide participants, but on the right hand side, all the participants are there, na?
No, sir. The one that is shown is the count, and there is a bug. So in some people's desktop, they don't show the count. In
No,
my
it's okay. You tell me where to go now.
sir, your screen is buggy. Your software, your terminal.
Is what?
I have six people raised in their hand in my.
So there is a bug you are saying?
Yes, sir.
अरे बाप रे,
Yes, sir.
अरे तुमने हमारा bug भी पकड़ लिया Microsoft Teams का. Okay, so that is fine.
We can see people raising hands, sir, but from your screen we can only see one.
I can't see, right?
Although, yeah.
Okay, very good. So anyway, so let us forget about it for now, because we are simply wasting our time doing this. So let me just unshare. Na? So now it is unshared.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So anyway, students, please make sure that you have the requisite background, because later on, otherwise you might land up in trouble, right? So make sure that you have the requisite background. Okay. It is assumed that one has a BTech in CSE, right? Or if you do not have the BTech in CSE, at least you should have done BTech level courses, the names of which I told you already. Okay. Very important. Computer architecture and operating systems will come, that knowledge will come very often. Operating system and including distributed operating systems. Okay. Anyway, so now let us let me just tell you first. So what is cloud computing all about, right? So then we will go through the course. So let me give you a little bit of experience and perception of cloud computing. So back in about 12 to 13 years back, right? So when I joined over here, this institute, at that time, cloud computing was becoming popular, right? So cloud was not something that was as common as we have it today. So it was becoming popular, particularly in the research community. So nobody knew what is cloud all about those days, right? So I'm talking about 12, 13 or little around that time, 13, 14 years back. So cloud computing, people in the computer science community, everybody heard about cloud computing, but nobody knew what cloud computing was all about. So the common perception about cloud computing is that it gives you mega storage. You do not really have to purchase big servers as we had to purchase before cloud computing came into being. So the whole idea was that you try to get something on a rental basis, right? But at the same time, those days I'm talking about, at that time there was not much publicly available cloud services that was also there. So it was cloud computing was trying to grow in terms of its popularity. So cloud, the whole technology cloud computing, it was becoming popular after IBM basically started this concept of cloud computing. There were a lot of white papers, there were a lot of research papers that were coming into being. And at that time, a lot of us, number of us who were working on different domains. For example, many of you might be knowing that my area of research is something called Internet of Things, IoT. And so people in the networks community, people in the IoT community, and those who were working on machine learning and so on and so forth. So the whole idea was that, about cloud computing was that, it is something which gives you lot of storage, much beyond simple servers, right? Uh, so on and so forth, right? So a lot of research initiatives started around that time. So I myself, for example, I started working on cloud computing at that time from a IoT perspective, right? So in IoT, we have to send data somewhere, we have to process data somewhere. Earlier, we used to do it on servers. Then, so we started working on integration with cloud platforms. So we thought about how we can integrate, IoT technology with cloud computing. So basically, IoT cloud kind of concept came into being. So that was the initial, perception of cloud computing, and what I'm telling you is not what I also believed, right? So most of the people initially, they thought cloud to be of a mega storage, mega computer, so which can give you a lot of computational capability and so on and so forth. But as cloud computing stepped into number of years in the future, what happened is that people understood and realized the value of cloud computing even more, right? And so it was understood that cloud is not simply a storage. Cloud is not merely a technology for storing and processing of data and algorithms. It is not a mega server, or it is not a mega server farm, but it is much more, right? So people gradually they tried to understand the utility of cloud computing. So so initially the whole idea about cloud computing was that you have a lot of computational facilities provided, offered to end users, as utility, right? As utility. So as utility means that, you know, all computational services, computational facilities like storage, like development platforms, like infrastructure, these are going to be made available to end users as utility, right? So let me try to make you understand about what is this utility all about. So utility means, like, in the same way as we have different utilities that we use in our homes, in our offices, for example, electricity, for instance, right? Electricity, or even water, not in our country much, but particularly in foreign countries, water is also a utility which is built like, just like, electricity. So electricity is built, right? So electricity is a metered service. So you have electricity meter, you have the electric meters that are installed at all homes and offices, right? So what happens is, depending on the units of electricity that we consume, we get billed for those many units, right? We do not have to tell beforehand that this is the maximum number of units of electricity that we are going to use in the month. We simply have to keep on using, and at the end we get billed for the number of units of electricity that we have consumed, right? And the same goes for water also. uh, in our country still, we do not, water is kind of free, right? Actually it is not free, but it is kind of free. But in in foreign countries, actually water, in most of the foreign countries, water is something that is also a metered service like electricity. So you have other metered services, for example, gasoline, right? So, or petrol, diesel, these are also metered, right? So you have to, the only difference is that you have to go to a petrol pump, and then you will have to fill in the number of liters of petrol that you want to, and then you have to pay according to those number of units, right? Same thing for the cooking gas as well, right? Cooking gas. So in many parts of even India and other places, cooking gas is not delivered as cylinders, right? So cooking gas is actually delivered in the form of through regular pipes, in the same way as water is delivered through pipes to the different residential households, right? So same thing for cooking gas as well. Now all these are actually utility, but these utility also have little differences between them. Electricity is, it's also a metered service. Petrol is also a metered service, but there is a difference in terms of the service offering. Same goes for computing as well. So it was thought that if you can have electricity as utility, if you can have water as utility, why can't you have computing as utility as well? So basically, if you really have to have, if you really have to, or if you really have some computational tasks to be performed, if you have to store some data, you do not really have to go and purchase some servers and deploy them, install them, and start using the servers to do the computation, store the data, and so on, right? So the whole idea was that if I really have to use computational facilities, I simply should have the ability to go to some portal, fill up the registration requirements, and then once approved, I should be able to use these computational facilities from my home or office or whatever, right? I do not really have to go and buy the server, install the server, maintain the server, and so on and so forth, right? And there are so many different other advantages of also having, computing as utility. For instance, in the same way as in the case of electricity, if I have to enjoy electricity at home, I simply have to subscribe, get the metered service at home, and then get billed for it. I really do not need to know where the electricity was generated, how it was generated, through which channels the electricity came to me, whether it came from one source or multiple sources. As long as I get electricity delivered to my home, I am perfectly fine. I do not really need to bother about how it got generated, from where it got generated, and so on and so forth. Okay. Same thing holds over here as well. If I have an algorithm to be executed, if I have a program to be executed, I really do not need to bother as such. I mean, why I say as such, that will be clear in some later lectures. But for now, let me tell you that as such, I do not really need to bother about, where my program is going to get executed, right? I simply need this much of RAM, this many CPU cycles, this much of storage space. I will be given that, and I have to be least bothered about where my data is going to be stored, where it is going to be executed, and so on and so forth. But again, let me caution you, the statement that I made, it has certain limitations, right? So it is actually not exactly the way I portrayed just now, right? So for now, it is sufficient to understand that the analogy between electricity and computing is that we do not really need to be bothered where and how the electricity got generated. And similarly over here, analogously, we do not really need to be bothered about where and how the program is getting executed. I need the program to be executed in some computational platform, and that's it. I do not really need to be bothered about how and where things are getting done. Okay, this is one. Now, so utility. So it's called utility computing. So it's basically part of something called utility computing. But utility computing is not something that is new, right? Utility computing was already existing even before cloud came into being. Okay. And when I go through in the next class about some of these different details, you will be able to realize cloud computing is not a brand new concept. It's not a new technology as such. It is something that was already existing in different forms. Cloud computing is the term that was given to all these existing forms, put together some value added. Cloud computing technologically is not something completely new. Cloud computing has been existing not by the name of cloud, even before cloud came into being. It's not by the name cloud, but in different forms. These technological forms were all existing before, right? Most. What cloud did is something conceptually, you can think of it this way, that you take different technological concepts, put them all together, wrap them up, right? But when you wrap them up, it is not merely putting things as such, but trying to put them all together in order to deliver some services, right? Okay. Now, can you just confirm? I saw that there was a weak signal in between. Can one of you confirm whether you are all connected to me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it's all right.
Yes, sir. There
Yes,
was
sir.
lag in
Good
between.
enough. Right? Yeah. Okay. 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 So, is this part clear? What cloud computing is all about? Now, the
Yes,
details
sir.
will not be very clear until actually we go through these details. So gradually, what we will do is we'll start from a high level of abstraction tomorrow, and then the entire semester will devote to activities that constitute this high level abstraction of cloud computing. Right. Now, let me
Sir, can you repeat your voice was
right. What we are, which part? The last part only? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No. So what I told you is that cloud computing, the overall idea I think you have understood, but you will not be able to really understand exactly how things work until we go through all these different concepts. The way we will go through these concepts is that tomorrow we will start with the basics of cloud computing at a very high level of abstraction, and then we will try to conquer these bits and pieces that constitute this high level of abstraction in the rest of the semester. This is what we are going to do. Okay. So this entire semester will be devoted to conquering how these bits and pieces will work together in order to offer this cloud computing concept. Right. Now, how many of you love pizzas? Everyone? All? Or I'm sure that some of you don't like pizza. How many of you like pizza? Acha, how many of you do not like pizza? Everybody likes pizza, right? I love pizza, and I'm sure that most of you love pizza. But I'm sure that in a big class like this, there will be few who do not like. And you do not really have to feel shy to tell that you do not like pizza. So, did you ever order pizza online? Not by contacting. So let us say Pizza Hut, right? So did you or Domino's? Did you order pizza by calling the Domino's toll-free number? Anybody who did?
Yes, sir.
Nidhi, you are the only one who order pizzas. Others don't.
Sir, actually, they are raising hands.
Oh, so don't raise hand, man. So somebody said that I have a bug in my screen, in my software. Somebody, or at least, I am not very conversant with this platform. So don't raise hands. Say yes or no, right? So that is the best for me now. Okay. So, so how does things work? Can one of you please tell me how do you order pizzas by calling the toll-free number? Deepak, is this a newly raised hand or the one that exists from before?
It's from before, sir.
Okay. So one of you, Deepak, either you or one of the other students, can you just tell me how you order pizza by calling the toll-free number?
I'm audible, sir.
Yeah, Deepak. Yeah, you are.
Sir, actually, by calling the toll-free number, I haven't tried. Generally, we order pizzas online by Swiggy or Zomato app, sir. In that
Okay,
app, we
Swiggy
have
or
to
Zomato
just
app.
yeah,
Okay,
yes, sir.
so yeah. So there is a little difference between the way things work through Swiggy or Zomato, right? From calling the Pizza Hut toll-free number or something like that, things are a little different. Okay, so let me tell
Sir.
you, in case you have not, I think most people they order through all these these Zomato, Swiggy kind of things, but the things work little differently over here. But traditionally, the way you would order pizza by calling this toll-free number is that you call it, right? So this you make this call, and this call goes to some this call center kind of location, right? Right. So so then what happens is that from that call center, depending on your location, you will be routed to one of the closest service delivery points. So which means one of the closest pizza stores who are connected. So let us say that one of the closest Pizza Hut stores close to your locality. But for you, you do not really need to know which location that call has gone to. All you need to do is that you need to order your pizza. The pizza, you need to ensure that the pizza gets delivered within that 45 minutes or 1 hour time that is normally promised, right? And I think many of you have experienced this, right? So either you get delivered within 45 minutes or it is free. Yes or no? Right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how things happen? Just imagine that within
Yes, sir.
45 minutes the order will get booked, the pizza will get made, then it will get delivered. How things work? And they are ensuring that 45 minutes or 1 hour, whatever it is, and either it gets delivered or it is free. Can somebody give me some insight? How things work? No idea.
So normally they have their own platform where they have all these details and which are in synchronized fashion.
Yes. Right.
They calculate the
How
distance
how does?
between the ordered location and the nearest store that is available to them, and if it is reachable within the time frame, then only they can place the order. If it's not, generally they don't place it. They say your location is not deliverable.
Right.
So they calculate the distance and the time and the traffic, everything beforehand. In
Right.
most of the cases.
Right. So they have their own way of, computing the feasibility of delivery within a particular time, and based on that, basically the same thing actually holds for, if you have not experienced pizza, but let us say you call your Ola or the other online this booking platforms for it goes through some centralized thing, but based on the location of the so the call gets diverted to that particular point, right? So for you are simply calling that Ola line, right? You do not need to call that individual, right? You need the taxi service and it will get delivered, right? For you do not really need to know where the taxi is at present and so on and so forth. Although, some of these features are made available, but as such, you do not need to know. You need to get the taxi delivered to you as quickly as possible, and that will be delivered. You do not really need to know who is the driver, where he is, and all of those details. You do not really need to know, right? Same thing goes for your pizza as well, right? So this is this is something called so I will so let me not use the term today, so tomorrow I will use these terms, but this is actually a feature that has been also utilized in cloud computing, right? So you need the service, you do not really need to worry about how and where the service will be executed, and it will be delivered to you, but it is going to be a metered service. The moment you start enjoying the service, you will be billed for the units of usage that you have. And how it will be billed? There are actually different models of billing that are there. So it could be, for example, I have a startup company, and so in that startup company we use a lot of cloud services, right? Although we have big servers, etc., but so for certain reasons these cloud services are useful. So what happens is that we have some subscription for the duration, right? So either it is a 6 monthly subscription or a 1 year subscription or something like that, and we enjoy based on the package that we have chosen, we enjoy unlimited services within that within the parameters that are offered by that particular package, right? So you see that it is so much advantageous for us, right? So to have this kind of service. Okay, so cloud computing is a fun, and we're going to learn a lot about cloud computing in the entire semester. But please make sure that you have the requisite background. Otherwise, I would urge you to choose some other course which you will be able to do better. Okay, now let me try to share something with you. Is this visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you guys have taught me something, how to share, right? So this time I have passed. Okay. Now this is going to be grossly the course outline, right? And I have also uploaded it in Microsoft Teams in the course content somewhere I have uploaded. So please feel free to go through it after the class as well. So let me tell you that this is the first time that I will be teaching cloud computing, right? So I will be preparing the course materials, and also many things are still not very clear to me about what sort of materials I will be covering. So this is something that I have prepared for now. This is something that I have planned for now, but things may change later on, right? So because anybody who teaches a course for the first time, many things remain very unclear about so how the course is going to be planned. So please also take that into consideration while you decide whether you want to continue with this course, because many things are not going to be as much structured as ideally we would have liked to be, right? So it is not fully structured, and it is not going to be structured completely until I am able to deliver this course at least once in the entire semester, right? So my email address, I think by now all of you know. So please, feel free to send me an email. So I know that many of you already sent me emails, which got, in most cases, which got not responded. And the reason being that, many things are not very clear to me yet, right? How I'm going to plan the course ahead. But I think gradually will be in a much more comfortable position to answer to questions like this. So this is what I have planned for now. Introduction to cloud computing architecture and its components, service and data management in the cloud, communication and networking technologies, concepts of federation, presence, identity, privacy in the cloud, security in cloud. Some case studies we will cover, and future directions, particularly with respect to IoT integration, right? So this is something that that is my area of research. Cloud computing is not my core area of research. IoT is. So I will try to give you a little bit of flavor of integration with cloud, because IoT and cloud put together, that can, this knowledge, basically the integrated knowledge of IoT and cloud put together, that can do wonders for you in future, because IoT, as you know, is basically this is a hot emerging topic, and everybody talks about IoT. So we'll talk about some of these kind of case studies about how we can put these technologies together, or a few other case studies as well. Some future directions about where we are heading, what are the challenges ahead, how these could possibly be well overcome. Some ideas about the kind of research that is being conducted on cloud computing, and so on. One of the features of this course, which I feel is going to be very attractive for many of you, are the demos, right? We will be using something called OpenStack for the entire semester in terms of these demos. And these demos, actually, ideally, I would have liked you, although this course basically is a 300 course, meaning that it is 3 hours of lecture per week, and there is no tutorial, there is no practical, there is no lab as such. But normally what I try to do, even in these fully theoretical courses, is to give you a little bit of lab oriented flavor. So ideally, I would have done this in a real lab kind of setup, where I would have taken you, and you would have worked on some problems that I would have given you. But this is not going to work remotely like this. So remotely, what we are going to do is that we are going to give you some demos, different classes, different types of demos, and then you will have to be prepared. When we give the demos, you will have to listen, and we will also give you some opportunity to remotely work on your individual machines on these on these problems that we give you, right? And these are going to be hands-on kind of things. I don't have to really as per the syllabus of this course, I do not really have to give you any hands-on kind of exposure. But at the same time, always in all my courses, I try to make sure that I supplement the theory with some hands-on, so that you get a better understanding of the concepts. Okay. And if we find time, we'll also discuss about a few other concepts and technologies But again, that depends on the available time that we will have. Okay, any questions on this part, the topics? Okay, so let us go further. Another thing that will be very important for you is that not mandatory, but is highly desirable, is to have a high configuration machine at your end. Right. So many of you may be having laptops, but these laptops may not support cloud installation. Okay. The configuration may be low, maybe poor. But if you have something like, i7 and beyond, right? That i7 and beyond, or even like, i5 10th generation or something like that, with adequate RAM and adequate, other specifications, then even, that kind of machine may work. But if you have something like i3 or i5 lower generations, etc., that may not serve the purpose, right? So please make sure that if you really have to get some hands-on kind of exposure, you try to get access to some good configuration computer, some even server, if the best would be if you can get access to some server, right? That would be the best, right? For the demos, we will be giving you demos from our servers, but these servers will not support access to all the so many participants that we have in the course, right? So that will be difficult. It will not support. Okay, so anyway, but the demos will be there. Those who cannot really afford to get these so advanced specification computers, for them actually you simply have to witness what is being demoed, nothing beyond that. Anyway, so let us go further down.
Sir, hello sir,
yeah, yeah. Who is
sir,
speaking?
we have a term. My name is Nalla Sivakrishna sir.
Yeah.
Sir, so do we have any term projects?
Yeah, I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. Okay. Evaluation, what is going to happen? It will comprise different components like this. You will be given different assignments. Typically it will be either once a week or once in 2 weeks. There will be attendance which will be taken. Today we are not taking attendance, but next class onwards, attendance will be taken and counted. Some kind of presentation and project combined will be there, but given the number of students who have registered for this course, we have to really think about how to execute this project and presentation. For now, what we have planned, again it can change also. For now, what we have planned, so now as I see in ERP we have roughly 125 students, roughly, right? So 125 students, if I have to give individual, become unmanageable. Ideally, I would have liked to give you individual projects. So what I'm planning for now is that it will be a group of 4 to 5 students per project. 4 to 5 students per project. Can one of
Sir, your voice is breaking.
Breaking? Okay, just wait for a few moments. Yeah. So is it better now? One of you please confirm. Are you able to hear me?
Breaking again, sir.
Nidhi, am I audible?
Sir. Yes, sir, you are audible.
Breaking again. Okay. So this is all the downside of remote learning, right? So we have to depend on the backbone connectivity. Okay. Okay, so there will be a project and presentation. So project group composition will be 4 to 5 as of now. This is what we have planned, but this thing can change. And there will be ideally I would have liked you to present your work often, but this may not be possible, but at least once in the entire semester we have, right, the project
Hello,
material.
hello, sir. Sir,
So
this is Chandrani.
that is something that we will try to have. Yeah.
Hello, sir. Your voice is not clear, sir.
Yes,
This is
Chandrani.
Chandrani. Sir, your voice is not clear now.
Okay, my voice is not clear. What do? Say, okay. We simply have to wait, right? So, nothing more can. Is it better? Is it better now? Not yet.
No, sir.
So, because we are running out of time for this course, so I have uploaded it in in Teams, but we'll also go through this course outline. We will upload in Moodle, and Moodle is going to be the one which is going to be mostly used for uploading all the documents. Notifications etc. will be either through email. So please make sure that you check your email a couple of times a day, or it will be uploaded through Moodle, right? So notifications, any notification for you. So please check your Moodle as well as this thing couple of times a day, your email couple of times a day, right? Then yeah, so these are some of these references. It would be nice if you can get access to these, and I will also cover. So so the course materials, the slides, etc., will be provided to you. So so the slides, will also help you to supplement beyond whatever I discuss in the class. And also please try to get some. So we'll also give you some study materials which you can use to supplement your understanding beyond what I say in the class. We'll also give you some references time to time, right? So this is what we have planned. I hope that at least you could hear a little bit about what I said towards the end, but we are running out of time and we have to end the class over here.
Sir,
Do you have any question?
yes, sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
what is your question?
sir, what will be the weightage of different component like the project and
Yeah,
like
so yeah, as I was telling you that so I have not planned entirely. Right? So normally, like what we do is 30-50 like in a regular semester, right? So mid sem 30%, end sem 50%, and 20% for these other evaluations. But because we are not going to have end sem, mid sem, at least by the name of these. So what we will have is we'll have some class tests, right? So we'll have some class tests, different class tests which are going to be pre-announced, and so mostly the evaluations for the exam parts are going to be based on the class tests, right? And on top of that, there will be this project which will also carry a good weightage. But again, so for this project, I'm not sure actually. This part is completely left blank, and if you feel that you will have difficulty, maybe you may not continue with the course, is that you should have adequate support ideally to do your project, right? So in terms of computational facility, I told you, right? So you have to install OpenStack, and how you will install that installation we will help you, but your machine should support the installation, right? So of OpenStack. So if you are not able to, then I do not know, so how you will be able to complete your project. So I leave it open to you. I leave it, up to you whether you want to continue with this course, given your limitations that you may have, or other considerations. But, so you, yeah, yeah.
Sir, I have a suggestion. I don't know if it will be good or not. So you can you give some option like project or some term paper or something, so that if people
project or term
don't have.
paper, I want you to do something. It should not be simply, going through some literature and writing, right? I want you to do something. But doing that, it will be difficult, right? So if you do not have support from your local computers, right?
Yes, that's why
So otherwise, just a term paper, it will not be a semester long work, right? It will be simply going through few literature and summarizing. That is not going to serve the purpose. Okay.
No.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Sir, I was I just have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Can't we use some free cloud service platform for projects and all? Because most of us don't have those machines which are required.
No, that is not correct. Actually, many of you have. But the thing is that free cloud, actually, then you will become simply a user of the cloud, right? So that is the problem. In this course, you are going to learn about the internalities of cloud. So free cloud service, you will become simply a user of the cloud service.
Okay.
That's the difference. So anyway, let us see, but all these are possibilities, what Sontu said or what Somosri, whatever you are telling. But that will not give you a good feel of the hands-on learning that ideally I would like you to have. Okay.
But sir, this is a 3 credit subject, so that will be heavy. It have a project.
What will be heavy?
It is a 3 credit subject, so we have all 4 credit other subjects. So
yeah, the Sontu, from the beginning, if you have this kind of apprehension, the best thing is not to take the course.
So there's also a problem of coordinating if we are making a group of 4-5 people. So due to online nature of the course, we cannot coordinate effectively. So that's why if there were assignments, then we can do individually, but project will be tough actually.
No, projects are going to be there. So I'm telling you all of these at the beginning so that you can take your decision whether you want to continue or not. Projects will be there. Projects are an integral part of learning cloud computing, right? Project will be there. Coordination, etc. It is not difficult as long as you have, the computational facility. That is the only difficulty that I see, is to have the adequate computational facility. Project remotely, collaboratively, so that is not an issue at all. Right? Projects is going to be there. Assignments are also going to be there. Class tests are also going to be there. Right? So the only thing that I am not very clear yet is how I'm going to distribute the weightage, right? The weightage between all of these. That I have not, so I have different thoughts, different ideas, but this is something that I have not fixed yet, right? So we'll do something very soon. Yeah, somebody wanted to ask something.
Sorry, in case we do not have the high-end computer at home, what can we do?
What you will do?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I told you the limitations. This course is not a mandatory course for all. It's simply a CSE MTech elective, right? So, so all of these things you should take into consideration while deciding which courses you are going to do, right? So, so let us see. All I can tell you is that let us see, because ideally, actually, as I told you that, without hands-on, it will be difficult, right? Project will be there, and what sort of relaxation we can do to ensure that you still get the adequate levels of learning, that we'll think a little bit further. And I will see what best can be done for most of you, right? But at the same time, if you are pretty sure that you will have difficulty based on whatever I told you, then so best thing is that you should make your choices. We'll try to see, so to some extent, some different options for projects I will try to give, keeping these different constraints in mind, right? But at the same time, your learning will also not be complete. That also I can tell you. Okay, learning will not be complete. So we'll see, what best can be done.
So what will be the total number of assignments during the entire semester?
I don't even know,
around?
how much percentage will keep for the assignments, right? But so there will be quite a few assignments. There will be quite a few assignments, and the weightage will also be significant on assignments. There will be significant weightage on all of these three: assignments, project, and the other thing, assignments, project, and the class tests. Okay. So class tests normally, I would think, I'm just thinking, on the fly, not decided yet. Class tests, there will be at least 2 for sure, probably 3 or so, right? I'm just trying to think, right? There will be, let us say, between 2 to 4 class tests, 2 to 4, average will be 3. And for assignments, generally like between 5 to 8 assignments, I would think 5 to 8 assignments. Okay. Yeah. And project will also have a important component, but so I think I am just more inclined right now, after hearing the difficulties from many of you, to keep some option, right? So if in case somebody has difficulty with getting access to high configuration computers, at least to have another option which will make your life easier. I will try to have something like that. But if you choose that option, that will be, I would discourage you to choose that option. But if you choose that option, your learning will not be complete. That is the only thing that is going to happen. But so our hands and feet are also tied this semester, so that I understand, and we'll try to have some solution to this problem. Okay.
So will all the 5-6 assignment on the programming itself, or there will be some other?
There will be, as I told you, the prerequisite. Don't ask me all of these questions now, whether it will be programming assignments or not. It will be a mix of many things, right?
Okay.
So you should definitely have the background of whatever courses I told you, CSE BTech level courses, the ones that I told you. Once again, let me tell you, programming, at least C or C++ and Python, algorithms, data structures, operating systems, computer architecture, and networking. Okay, you should definitely.
Programming will be fine,
and
but
it should not be a problem for most of you who have a BTech in CSE, or you are in the advanced years of your BTech in CSE, because some students have joined who are currently doing their BTech in CSE. So for most of these students, it will not be a problem. If you are in the second year and you want to take this course, you will have difficulty. Let me tell you, right? You will have difficulty. Second year UG. So third year, fourth year onwards, I think it should be more comfortable, right? And for other department students, because I do not know your positions, if you want to take it as a minor, etc., because some of you are doing minor in computer science, so it is fine. But at the same time, make sure that you have adequate background of all of these different subjects. I don't want you to be an expert in computer networks, let us say. I don't want you to be an expert of operating systems, but the basics, you should be comfortable. So don't write anything in chat, because I am not reading anything.
Sir, is it possible to keep programming assignment at maximum 3 or 4? Because we also have a programming assignment from some of our other subjects. So it will be very hectic for us to if there are 6, 7 to 8 assignment in the cloud computing and all of them. So on the programming.
I'll try to keep that in mind, right? But I cannot promise anything now.
Okay.
Because you see, you want to learn cloud, you don't want to, do programming, you do not want to do many of these things because you do not have a computer. Then how it is possible? Best thing is you do not take this course if you have doubt about all of these things. Okay. Cloud computing, this course should not be simply that cloud is this, cloud is that, and this it should not be simply theory like this. I will try to keep all of our constraints in mind this semester. So as I said, that for project at least, I will try to keep another option. What will be that option? That I will have to think, which will not be hardware dependent to a large extent. Hardware means like, at least, you need to have computers for sure, but, not the high-end computers. That I will keep in mind. But if you tell me that, sir, don't give me programming assignments or limit this, that, etc., so you cannot control me, right? So rather, you control yourself which courses you want to take.
Sir, also is number of participants 5 okay? Like number of groups, people per group is 5 a good number?
Whether it is a good number or not.
You said 4 to 5, but in the doc it is written 3 to 4, so I was wondering if 5
So
is okay.
because at that time when I prepared that course outline, the number of participants was not this huge, right? So so I have to now, because if we have too many groups, that will be unmanageable, right? So we'll see, so what number, so this is some rough idea that I gave you, but nothing is concretized yet. Okay, any other question?
So like,
sir, by any
you
chance
tell us the number of
using
people per group later? Or,
one person at a time, please.
So you will be telling us the number of people per group later on. Is it the case?
Yeah, we'll decide all of these later, right? So because so we'll also have to see what is the final number of students enrolled, right? I have to see that, and I do not have that clear idea yet. So on one side, we don't want to have too many members in a group. On the other side, we do not want too many groups also. That will become unmanageable, right? So we'll see, what best can be done. Right? I will try to keep all of your, whatever suggestions you give while, finally coming up with the plan. But as of now, many things are not concretized. Right? So if you have doubt about how much time you will be able to devote for the course, then you should seriously think about whether to continue with this course or not. If you have doubt about whether your computers will support doing the project, for that I can tell you that we'll see, what kind of alternative we can have, other alternate options we can have. If you are thinking about how to pass a particular course easily, then I'm telling you beforehand that this is not the course that you can have to pass easily, right? This is a course where you have to learn, right? You have to learn, you have to earn your marks. Okay, is this okay?
Sir, I have a question.
Any other question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
By any chance, is using OpenStack compulsory for our projects or something like that?
Why are you asking this question?
Because I have worked with OpenStack, so I was just curious if I could think something on those lines.
No, if you have already worked on OpenStack, then I think so OpenStack is the one that we are going to cover in this course. And if you have already knowledge about cloud computing, OpenStack at least, I think this course will not help you much to get any additional knowledge. Okay. Others, please keep yourselves muted. Okay. If you are looking for some options to easily pass a course, if you are looking for some options to not do much, etc., then let me caution you that this course is not going to be so. Okay. Okay, so that's all. So we are going to end the course now, end the class now. So I see that many of you posted many things, I have not gone through. And if you have written anything, these are not going to be read also. Okay, so your opportunity was to ask it over here. If you have any other question, we have not ended yet, you can ask now. Any other question? Okay, so then we stop here. So next class tomorrow, we'll start formally. Okay,
Yep.
take care.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.